We're going to dive a little bit into your love of Stone Cold Steve Austin. If glass shatters right now in my house, the first thing that pops in my head is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is the only person that will get a 12-year-old straight boy to go buy a Speedo.
Please welcome the man we all know as the Southern Grandpa, Mr. Justin Stagner. You have a love of professional wrestling. Where did that come from?
Man, it was just a thing in the South, and I'm sure everywhere, but particularly in the South, where it's just like you could not wait for Monday night to come around. And this is before SmackDown. It was just Monday Night Raw. And I would lose my mind. And then when the Attitude Era came about and Stone Cold blew up to his popularity, I just remember thinking that there was no cooler person on planet Earth.
Like,
I didn't have a T-shirt. I have a Stone Cold T-shirt on right now. I didn't have a T-shirt that wasn't a Stone Cold T-shirt, and I cut the sleeves out of all of them. Like, Stone Cold Steve Austin is the only person that will get a 12-year-old straight boy to go buy a Speedo. I mean, I wanted to be him. And everybody in my family was like enthralled with this. Like, my grandpa, he had a cul-de-sac haircut for years, and like Stone Cold finally made him like let go and shave it all.
We all had that uncle that did that thought that they were stone cold, but they didn't look. Just because you're an alcoholic doesn't mean you're actually stone cold.
Right, exactly. Stone Cold's 6'2", 280.
and with muscles. He's got a six-pack, you know what I mean? And it's not just the beer, it's like...
That's not what they were relating to. They're like, I'm beer and I hate my boss, so yeah.
So I'm just like him. Like him.
Exactly. My grandpa, and dude, that was the thing with Kayfabe and everything back then. It's just like my grandpa and everybody. I remember them, and I think it's not just that. I think the actors were better. I mean, that's what they are. They're entertainers. Mm-hmm. It's all these things wrapped up in one. They're actors, they're athletes, they're entertainers, they're all these things in one. And I just feel like it was better back then, to where even my grandpa would be like watching it with me, and he would watch somebody cut a promo against Stone Cold, and he would turn to me and be like, that somebody couldn't whoop a picture of Stone Cold. Like he was in it.
Well, Justin, that's why I've named this podcast When Wrestling Was Real. The bumps, the chair shots, all that stuff, it's still real. What those guys, when you jump off that top rope onto concrete, you can't fake that, right?
It happened, right.
Yes. Now, what wrestling was to me in the 80s, 90s, especially Attitude Era, was I believed the stories. I believed that Stone Cold and Vince hated each other. I believed that Undertaker and Kane were brothers. You know what I mean? Yes. You believed those stories. And that's where I want to take people back to. I want to take them back to you there with your grandpa watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you believed every bit of it. And he did too.
100%. And the crazy thing is, I try to tell these kids nowadays that watch wrestling and all these things, I was like, you guys do not understand the pandemonium Stone Cold and this group of wrestlers at that time, they were on top of the world. If Stone Cold would have had Instagram in '96, he would have been 31 billion followers or something like it. Yeah. Unbelievable.
But I would like to get your opinion on this. I appreciate the fact that those guys didn't have social media. Sure. And the reason being was, now you see these wrestlers today, and I don't know how many of them you follow anymore, but being in this world, I follow just about all of them. And you see them doing these TikToks and everything else, and then all of a sudden they go out to the ring and they're supposed to be some badass. And I'm like, dude, you were just doing a chicken dance, on your TikTok yesterday.
Right. Now, I think if Stone Cold would have had a TikTok, you wouldn't have saw a chicken dance. But I'm just saying that it was all like they made sure that allure stayed with them outside the ring.
Yes.
And it was also, it helped that is who he is. That helped.
Yes. And I think that's what made it so special for us seeing what's going on today versus what it was back then. The fact that they kept that kayfabe, the fact that they kept it where it was real, made it more special, I think, than what we see today.
Well, I agree because I'm not here to knock today's wrestling, but it is crazy to me that they have came out and it said that everything is scripted, not fake, because the moves they're doing are very real.
Yeah.
They came out and let everybody know that it's scripted. People are making, like you said, their TikToks and everything, and they're talking in depth about the script and how they felt about all these things. And then to me, when I hear all that, and then I go to a match and I see some grown man standing there like, turn around, ref. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like it's written that he's not supposed to turn around, no matter how much you scream at him. But when I was a kid, I was like, turn around, ref, and nobody told me that he wasn't supposed to turn around.
Yeah.
It's a difference. It is a difference. There's a difference in the fact that I never knew he wasn't supposed to turn around. And that's now they're telling you, hey, tonight's going to go exactly how we wanted it to go, and you're still going to pretend to be upset about it.
That's what made it special.
I agree. I think that's the thing. That was the factor that made it. And you can't put the cat back in the box.
No. And I think what happens now is the older we get, we have to, if you want to watch wrestling still, you have to view it through a different lens.
Yeah, true.
You've got to view it through an entertainment lens. You've got to view it through an appreciation lens. And then when you do see some wrestlers, and I don't know how much you're watching wrestling now, but there's a guy right now, Gunther, who is just old school, man. He is a throwback. He just retired John Cena, and he's a guy that I watch and I go, dang, I wish he was around during the Attitude Era.
He kind of reminds me of like Ken Shamrock. There was nothing overly flashy that I saw whenever I watched him.
We're going to dive a little bit into your love of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, I think that everybody's Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers, if Stone Cold doesn't live there, I don't know if you've ever even watched wrestling. You know,
you're just not old enough. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's still a top 5 T-shirt sales every year. You know, my mom wouldn't let me get one because Austin 3:16, she thought that it was blaspheming the Bible, so I wasn't allowed to have that shirt.
Sure.
Okay. What's your first moment that you can remember about Stone Cold?
Whenever he and Bret Hart had that match where he's just pouring blood and he ends up passing out instead of tapping out for the sharpshooter. I was like, that is the toughest guy I've ever seen in my life.
That was WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
And what that was, to dive a little deeper into that match, WrestleMania 13, we've got Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, and what WWE needs at that point is Bret Hart to turn heel and Stone Cold to turn babyface. And Bret Hart was always one of the greatest baby faces of all time. And they needed him to be a bad guy, which was like pissing up a rope. You know, it was hard. Every kid loved Bret Hart.
Yeah, exactly.
And it took a moment. You know that they weren't, from what I understand, they weren't supposed to get color. They weren't supposed to. There wasn't no blood supposed to happen in that match that night.
Really? Because the cut looks perfect.
Oh, it is. And it was from the conversations apparently prior it wasn't supposed to be as severe as it was. It wasn't supposed to be.
It's pretty insane. That picture is insane.
Yes. And you got to think, man, at that time and everything, like, yeah, we were in that Attitude Era and things were pretty aggressive, but man, to get that much blood going, that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of really kicked it off. Like it ramped it up a bit for sure.
We went up a notch after that.
We did. It was insane. From then on, it was the wildest TV you've ever seen.
This episode is sponsored by Zeros. Go to drinkzeros.com. Find your favorite flavors today. Mine's going to be orange. These guys, they're amazing. It's veteran owned, veteran operated, 0 carbs, gluten-free, 0 sugar, only 90 calories. And the flavors are amazing, guys. Like I said, I'm drinking the orange today. Anything orange, I'm pretty much down with. My 2 favorite flavors is orange and grape. Go to drinkzeros.com to be able to find your favorite flavors or a store near you that serves Zeros. Just remember, got to be 21 years or older to drink, and Drink responsibly. More than anything, please drink responsibly. Go to drinkzeros.com. Also, my friends over at Roots of Fight. Ladies and gentlemen, go to rootsoffight.com. Use promo code When Wrestling Was Real, and you'll get 20% off all of their apparel. Some of the coolest, best designs you'll see for professional wrestling, especially some of those throwback designs and some of those wrestlers that may or may not be in the ring today. Go to rootsoffight.com, use promo code When Wrestling Was Real, and get your favorite wrestling apparel over there. And then you think, to come out of WrestleMania 13, Stone Cold 1 year later goes into WrestleMania 14 and wins his first title. And so that was kind of a kickstart to his career and a kickstart for him to becoming a babyface. The whole world loved him at this point still, but okay. This next question, we might already have the answer. What's your favorite Stone Cold moment?
When I think of Stone Cold, I think of everything from the matches to him in like regular street clothes doing outrageous things. Like the beer truck was cool. Whenever everybody thought he was going to kill Vince with the little bang gun, that was amazing. Where Vince pissed his pants. Him winning the Royal Rumble was awesome. When The Rock kicked out of the stunner and had to get a second one, that was crazy. I mean, these are just when he got fired because he told him he wasn't going to count 1, 2, 3 for Kane or Undertaker. All these things as a child. I remember when he got fired, I was literally being like, I'm never watching Raw again.
Man, I don't know if the younger crowd, the 20-year-olds and the early 30-year-olds understand how over Stone Cold was, but for you to literally want to quit watching wrestling because he got fired.
I'm telling you, the people cannot, I know all they get to see is like YouTube. They don't get to actually witness how everyone felt at this time. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the Michael Jordan of wrestling. Like, he couldn't go anywhere. He was the most recognizable face. This guy just lifts up 2 hands and everybody, it sounds like an explosion went off.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I mean, something in the wrestling world they talk about is the Road Warrior pop. I think you also got to throw in the Stone Cold pop. All right. So Stone Cold had so many great rivalries. Of course, Vince McMahon being that one that everyone knows about. Was that your favorite rivalry? Was the Vince Stone Cold storyline, or did you like it when he was with The Rock and stuff like that?
I did. I loved anything that the man did. It's him and Vince, man. It's just like, it was something about, even as a kid, you didn't even have a job yet. And you're just sitting there like, Vince hates this guy so much, but he makes him so much money, he can't fire him. He can do whatever he wants to him. And I really thought that he was one day probably going to kill him. We were all going to see it. Because it wasn't just the fact that Stone Cold and Vince didn't like each other. Stone Cold made everybody hate the owner of this company that we're watching. I mean, we absolutely 60,000 people call this guy now every time he walks out.
Well, I think also, if you think about it, man, so many, at the time with Vince, multi-millionaire, but now a billionaire, a lot of those guys have a lot of pride. They have a lot of ego, and they wouldn't allow a storyline like that to happen typically, right?
True.
I think it says a lot about Vince that he was willing to be that guy to be that punching bag for Stone Cold.
Yeah, it's just like, this guy's a businessman first, and like the ultimate businessman at that. The amount of money that I'm not saying Stone Cold wouldn't have been big, but there's no way he would have got where he was without that storyline.
No. I think, of course, Stone Cold, I remember Stone Cold as stunning Steve Austin back in WCW. Yeah. And the man could work no matter what. And if you can work and you can talk on the mic, you're going to be successful. Okay. You're going to be fine. I think, though, that Vince realizing, man, what does every person, every blue collar person, hell, what does every white collar person hate more than anything? They hate their boss.
Right.
And that's a real storyline at that point. Like, this is real life. Like, I can relate to this man more than anyone because, Justin, I mean, you've been a blue collar man your whole life. There's days where you wanted to stun your freaking boss plenty of times.
Yeah, of course. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, they sold it so well that I remember as a kid, even though Vince is absolutely jacked, but I remember as a kid thinking in my mind, like, what a sissy Vince is, you know? You're just like, this dude's huge. Looking back at it, you're like, why did I ever as a kid think this guy was like a little puny wimp? Like, he's not. He's jacked. He's huge. But
Yeah.
they sold it so well that you just think of him as this weak little wimpy businessman.
Yeah, this billionaire that wears a suit that's never fought before, you know, and it was later on until all of a sudden we see him in his cutoff shirts and stuff like that. And we realize, holy hell, Vince is working out, you know, all day, every day. But Stone Cold just was relatable. And I think that's why guys like us loved him because, all right, he's drinking beer. He's doing the one thing that Johnny Paycheck told us to do, which is cuss out your boss. And that's what we all wanted to do. And as kids, we didn't maybe fully understand it. But now as an adult looking back at it, I'm like,
genius.
Man, he's Stone Cold is what I want to be right now. So, yeah, he transcended and he made the blue collar man. He made the blue collar man believe it and feel it, you know, and I think that's what was very special about him. Do you remember the night that he cut the promo for Austin 316? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Or is this something that was a YouTube thing for you?
No. I watched it, and it was King of the Ring, Jake the Snake, if I remember right.
Yep.
That's exactly what it was.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
I had the old VHS tapes where it was like one was called Stone Cold Said So, and I can't remember what the other one was called, but like they also had that clip on there. Me and my brother would watch these VHSs until like they didn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Like that was what was so cool about they're making like a documentary style VHS and they're still not breaking character. They're not telling you anything. You know what I mean? It's just that's the way it should still be in my mind. I know you can't put the cat back in the box, but
yeah,
that's just the way I feel about it.
And you know, speaking of those VHSs, if you were like me, man, you know, I grew up, didn't have a whole bunch of money. So if we watched a pay-per-view, it was because somebody stole it and we were all at their house,
exactly.
you know, on that black
illegal
box.
Cable going on.
Exactly. And so, man, I watched all those pay-per-views through VHS. You know, as soon as WrestleMania 6 came out on VHS, holy crap, man, I couldn't wait to go get it. And I would always rent it on a Friday because you do a 2-day rental, and the VHS place, the movie place in my town was closed on Sundays. So I could get it on a Friday and I could keep it all the way till Monday.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love those VHS. So going back to that King of the Ring that night, a couple of things that I think is very interesting. You may not know. You know that Stone Cold busted his lip that night.
Yeah.
He went and got stitches.
Yeah.
Okay. Comes back. He asked Michael Hayes, hey, what did Jake do or whatever? And he goes, man, this is the promo he cut. He cut a promo about religion, said some Bible verses. Now, what people don't realize a lot of times is Jake the Snake found Jesus before that match, and that's why he cut a promo about religion. If he would have never found Jesus, he would have never cut that promo the way he did, and we would have never gotten Stone Cold doing Austin 316.
Yeah, he should tell Jake the Snake thank you quite a bit for that.
Absolutely. Whatever church Jake went to, man, I'm sending my tithe there.
Exactly.
Because it gave us one of the greatest moments in wrestling history.
Definitely the greatest T-shirt of all time.
So simple.
Yeah.
And
the greatest T-shirt ever.
I'm a big promo guy. Love promos. I think Dusty, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, these guys could cut promos like nobody's business. I put Stone Cold's Austin 316 up there in that top 5 promo of all time, though.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing is like what they can do in the ring is amazing and impressive. But like if you can get up there and talk and cut those promos, that's over the top. That's your next level.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting too. Being around these guys, they're bigger than life. They're athletic. They're gym rats. And yet they can go in that ring. They can do this dance called professional wrestling. And then they can get on this mic and become an Oscar-worthy actor.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and yet people continue to make fun of this stuff. And I'm like, guys, look at all the talents that these people have.
They do. They're full of talent.
And most of them they don't have one credit of college most of the time. They just...
Yeah. Well, it's just like, why do you think whenever they go to movies, they're pretty good at it right off the bat? They've been acting this whole time.
Yeah.
It's not a leap for them.
No, not at all. And that's what, for me, being able to, when I watch wrestling, in the ring, there's some guys that I watch them and I go, that's awesome. But for the most part, man, I love the outside of the ring stuff. I love if you can cut a good promo. If you can't cut a good promo, I'm not going to believe your match.
Right, exactly. And dude, I remember speaking to the pay-per-views that you brought up. Like, I remember nobody would ever buy one, and if one kid's parents bought one, everybody would go there. But for the most part, we didn't get to watch them. So you would know that SummerSlam or something's coming up. You would know what match Stone Cold had. So then you're just sitting there on Monday Night Raw because there's no Google back then. You're sitting there on Monday Night Raw like, did he win? Like, like I remember that vividly.
Man, one of the worst whippings I ever got was when my mom and daddy got that phone bill and I called that 900 number and Jim Ross was telling me what was going to happen or what was, the storylines and everything else. And man, daddy whipped me from one end of that trailer to the other.
Well, deservingly so, but I got a similar whipping for ordering a pay-per-view one time. Like whenever they had it, whenever like Dish came along and it wasn't just cable and you could go through there and just order it by clicking instead of calling and doing it. Oh God. Same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that went in debt on that because of their kids.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was
way too easy to order stuff.
For you, pre-Stone Cold, who was your favorite wrestler before Stone Cold came into the scene?
I really liked Macho Man. I loved him. I just, you know why? Because of promos. It really didn't matter to me. Like you said, it does matter what they're doing in the ring, but I love a good promo.
Yes. And Stone Cold, Macho Man, as wild and crazy as he was, it was organized chaos on a promo with him.
Yeah.
He had organized chaos. Now, I will also say everybody remembers the Slim Jim and the promos that Macho would cut. Macho Man, for me, bro, he's a top 7 or 8 wrestler of all time as well. The man could work in the ring better than most. Go back to WrestleMania 3, Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That they stole the show. Everyone talks about Hogan and Andre. That's the match. That was the best match of the night that night. Macho Man was the man.
I loved him. And it was I tell you what's crazy about Macho Man, even as a kid, every time he would take off his glasses and I would see him without his bandana and that stuff, I'd be like, God, he always looks different than I expected him to look. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And like, because I was so used to seeing him all the time. The only time he took it off was just for the match. So every time he had it on is how I expected to see him. Then when he took it off, every time I was like, that's not how he's supposed to look. I never got used to his real face.
He was so believable though.
It was amazing.
He could tell a story in that ring. He set that mic down and you get inside that ring and the way he'd get out of the ring and he would move Miss Elizabeth exactly where he would want her. You know what I mean? And yeah, he was just so infatuated with her even during the matches. All right. So Justin, this is what I like to ask everyone before I wrap up any interview about wrestling. What is your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers of all time? You give 4.
Okay. Steve, for sure. You gotta put Hulk Hogan on there. I mean, this guy was like the first actual superstar. Look, it's the problem is that that I'm looking through this with my childhood, my childhood. I think the last 2 that you got to put on there, they were in my era of watching wrestling, is you've got to put The Rock on there just for the sheer amount of pandemonium he created with Steve during that Attitude Era. And the last one I think it's got to be Undertaker.
Why Undertaker for you?
Undertaker's just one of those, like, to me, he was just like always a constant of WWF, WWE, whatever. It's just like no matter what changed about wrestling, the Undertaker was always there. Even when he changed and became the American Badass version of himself, he was still Undertaker. And it's just like he was just. If you asked anybody in the world if they were a little bit older than the Hogan era and they didn't say Steve Austin, you asked them to say somebody else. If you just think of wrestling or WWF, WWE, who do you think of? You think of the Undertaker. I think that he's in your mind when it comes to wrestling.
He was the steady hand.
Right, exactly.
He didn't leave. He didn't leave and go to WCW when the money was there. He was a loyalist. He stuck by the brand that gave him the opportunity to become maybe the greatest character that ever stepped into the ring.
For sure.
And I look at like Stone Cold. I don't think that's a character.
No, I agree. I agree with that 100%. Undertaker is like, that's a character, but
yes.
With Steve is just Steve. I think he finally found a way to be himself.
I don't think Ric Flair is a character. That's just right. Ric Flair. You know, Hulk Hogan, I think that was just Hulk Hogan. That's just who he was. Right. Macho Man, honestly, was Macho Man. Like, that's how he acted. I've heard many stories. That's how he was in and outside of the ring. Undertaker, who I know very well and personally, is just... He's a country boy from Texas that likes to hunt and fish and shoot guns and be with his family and drink a Coors Light and just hang out with the boys. But then when he went into that character and he became the Prince of Darkness, and that is the greatest character ever of all time. So
I have to agree.
That's I think that's a hell of a Mount Rushmore. I don't think anyone would argue with you on that at all. I've always said that you could put whoever you want on the Mount Rushmore, because I mean, the mountain is Ric Flair, so you can just build on top of him.
That's good. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. So Justin, we've heard about your love of professional wrestling and who your Mount Rushmore is and everything. Man, we're at the beginning of 2026. I know you got some tour dates coming up. We've got, I don't know, a measly almost 800,000 subscribers on this channel. So I got a feeling there's some people all over the country. So wherever you're going to be, there's going to be some people that live in that area. Where are you going to be in 2026? What's on the plate for you, man? What you got going on?
Man, we still got some dates we're getting lined up as of right now. March is filling up pretty quickly. Got some Oklahoma City and Dallas and Fort Wayne, Indiana. But everywhere that I'll be will be on justinstagner.com. We plan on filling up the rest of the year. The only time I'll be taking off is in May. Got the baby coming. And after that, I will be on the road.
Awesome, man. I saw the maternity pictures. I hope you don't go into labor anytime soon.
I'm going to use those as my before pictures, I think.
All right, guys. Just want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting this channel. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. All of those things help me out, and it doesn't cost you a thing. Also, go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all under When Wrestling Was Real. Once again, thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. And now I'm going to get you back to the real reason why you're here, to the video. Thank y'all. So yeah, my wife is a NICU nurse, so she'll send over a list of things for you to be doing now in that natal situation. But first of all, congratulations, man, on you and the wife. This is your first baby, right?
No. I've got a 7-year-old boy.
Oh, Lord have mercy, man. So now you got a second one you starting over. That's
I know, and that's it. I'm gonna tell them to tie them things while they're in there. Get that over with.
Man, I just wrapped mine with duct tape just in case. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn more about Justin Stagner, just all you got to do is just Google his name. Go to justinstagner.com, head over to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You got a podcast, don't you?
I do. Southern Saturday Podcast.
Southern Saturday Podcast. Y'all go follow this guy if you're not already. More than likely, most of you are. He's got a small following. And Justin, I want to say thank you, man, for what you're doing. Thank you for being a funny guy. Thank you for being, first of all, a good guy. And also thanks for supporting professional wrestling, man. I know that a lot of people, we're some weird folks that like professional wrestling. And it's good to know that there's people like you that enjoy it as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Well, this is another episode of When Wrestling Was Real. I'm your host, Matt Lyda. Our guest today was Justin Stagner. Thank you, Zeros, for supporting us. And if you're a Stone Cold fan, grab you a couple of Zeros, crush them together, pour them all over you, but actually drink one. They actually taste pretty good. Stone Cold never actually drank any, I don't think. So, Justin, thank you so much. And y'all, I appreciate you. Remember, wrestling's real and so is God. I'll see y'all next week.